More than a month has passed since the United States and Israel launched a war against Iran, and we can now conclusively say that Tehran is winning this war. This is now being admitted in major Western newspapers. The Independent published an article titled, "Iran is the clear winner as Trump's desperate bid for peace shows he wants out of the war." This is incredible because most Western media outlets have supported every single major U.S. war for decades, including 2 wars on Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, on Libya, Syria, Yemen, the list goes on and on. But this is the first war that I've ever seen that many major media outlets are in fact criticizing from the very beginning. Politico, for instance, published an op-ed arguing that the U.S. war on Iran is a far bigger blunder and strategic error than the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. And this article was written by the former U.S. ambassador to NATO, someone who previously supported the war on Iraq. So clearly the writing is on the wall, and it's clear to everyone that Iran is winning this war. Even Foreign Affairs, which is the official publication of the Council on Foreign Relations, which is a very mainstream U.S. foreign policy group, even Foreign Affairs published an article acknowledging that Iran is winning this war. The author of this article is a professor at the prestigious Johns Hopkins University, and she pointed out that if you use traditional metrics of conventional war, it may look like Iran is not doing very well in this conflict, but these are the wrong measures for assessing Iran's position. The question is whether or not Tehran is achieving its strategic objectives. And she argues that Iran is doing so, and therefore Iran is winning this war. Tehran was preparing for nearly 4 decades, and she wrote that Iran is, quote, now executing a strategy that has managed to neutralize key U.S. and Israeli air defense batteries, severely damage U.S. military bases in the Persian Gulf, inflict substantial economic pain, and driving a wedge between the United States and its Gulf allies, end quote.
Kalalau Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahak Wadash, and double honors to the elders of Jemas Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson, the Carmanians are winning the war, just as you heard from the video. Now, when it comes to the Iranians, they are known in the scriptures as the Carmanians, and it is prophesied that they shall come with great power. And when it comes to Iran's military power, you are seeing those first stages taking place, and with great power shall they come. One mistake that modern-day Babylon the Great did was to underestimate Iran. Babylon the Great represents America. With that being said, let's go over to 2 Esdras 15 and 30. Here we have that scripture of 2 Esdras 15 and 30. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Straight to the point. The Carmanians represent the Iranian wild boars of Iran. And if you know anything about wild boars, they are strong and fierce. And the Iranians will come out in that same mentality. The Iranians of today are the Persians, and it is prophesied that they shall come with great power. When it comes to Iran, they should not be underestimated, but they have been underestimated by the United States, and now they are losing because of it. Iran has an enormous arsenal at their disposal. They have very sophisticated and accurate theater ballistic missiles with a range of 1,200 miles. They also have tactical ballistic missiles, the TBMs, and they also have cruise missiles, unmanned systems, and drones. And the scripture of 2 Esdras 15 and 30, the scripture of 2 Esdras 15 and 30 has said that the Carmanians shall rage in wrath, and with great power shall they come. And you are seeing the first stages of that great military power taking place. One thing to understand about Iran is that they make their weapons cheaper. And if they make them cheaper, they could have vast amounts. But when it comes to this American-Israeli versus Iran tension, they are extremely high. Now, if Iran was to get attacked or invaded by the West, that will automatically draw out the Russians to war. Plus, right now, Russia is supplying them with intelligence on what's taking place. Russia is now providing unprecedented level of military aid and technical support to Iran. But any attack on Iran will definitely draw out the Russians. So we are no longer living in the time of peace but of war. Even if they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction falleth upon them. Also the time approaches when the allies of America shall betray them. Right, those 10 horns shall betray America. And you are starting to see that now. Those first stages taking place. You are starting to see those first stages taking place. But as soon as they implement that CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16, that third world war cometh quickly. No holds barred. Now when it comes to Iran, they claim that they do not have arrows of mass destruction. But according to online reports, Russia has supplied them with a few of those arrows. So did North Korea. North Korea gave them a couple of arrows as well. But when it comes to Iran, they do possess the know-how on how to make those nuclear arms. But this also goes into the prophecy of let the weak say, I am strong. That's why they want to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. And they know about prophecy. They're trying to stop prophecy, but you cannot stop prophecy. The wheels have already been set in motion, as they say. And the word of the Lord does not go back unto him void. It gets fulfilled. With that being said, let's go over to Joel 3 and 10. Here we have Joel 3 and 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. When it comes to certain nations, they have gone from farming to military power. Now, when it comes to Iran, they claim that they do not have an arrow of mass destruction. But like I said, they do know how to make them. They have nuclear capability. So they have leveled out the playing field when it comes to nuclear capability. Plus, they're also being backed up by stronger nations such as China and Russia. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let the weak say, I am strong, pertains to those weaker and smaller nations that did not have nuclear capability at one point, but now do have nuclear capability. but now have nuclear capability. But now those weaker and smaller nations are now confident in saying, I am strong, due to the fact that they now possess nuclear capability. And not only do they possess nuclear capability, but they are also backed up by other greater superpower nations, as I stated earlier. And when it comes to the scriptures, it also speaks of the making of these arrows of mass destruction by the modern day smith. Let's go over to that scripture. Isaiah 54:16, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. The Lord has created both the ancient smith and the modern day smith. Now, in ancient times, a smith or a blacksmith created primitive weapons of war, such as swords, daggers, shields, spears, and body armor. But when it comes to the modern day smith, aka that nuclear scientist or that nuclear engineer, he now creates sophisticated weapons of propulsion and of mass destruction. In that third world war to come, those arrows of mass destruction shall no longer be used as means of deterrence. The arrow shall be used to destroy the land that the small has now inhabit, along with the land of Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great is America. When it comes to Babylon the Great upon the scriptures, it's in reference to America. This is all biblical prophecy. And we're bringing you the truth of what's about to take place in these end times. Russia will come against America. They will lock horns. And Russia shall destroy Babylon the Great. That bringeth forth an instrument for his work. That instrument is that gift of the missile given unto Esau Edom for the coming war of Armageddon. Hebrew word Armageddon. And these weaker nations have now leveled the playing field when it comes to the possession of nuclear weapons. Let the weak say, I am strong. They have created that waster to destroy. But Esau Edom is a waster and a destroyer as well. Look what he has done to the earth on so many levels. That destructive war to come shall be a different kind of war fought at the push of a button. At the push of a button, those destructive arrows of propulsion shall be launched from their respective silos and shall not miss, according to the scripture of 2 Esdras 16:13. And in order for righteousness to dwell upon this earth, first cometh the CHIP of Revelation 13:16, and then cometh that third world war of utter destruction quickly. It follows quickly right after that CHIP of Revelation 13:16. Much tribulation is coming to this earth. But the elect of the Lord shall be saved out of it. Out of the house of David. But when it comes to those arrows, they shall not miss, according to 2 Esdras 16:13. Let's go over to that scripture. Second Esdras 16:13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. The day cometh when these sharp arrows shall be shot into the ends of the world. The ends of the world is in reference to modern day Babylon the Great, which is America. These 200 million missiles shall not miss, and neither shall they break their ranks in flight, because the Spirit of the Lord shall be guiding them to the strategic targets. And when it comes to these swords that shall be bathed in heaven, they shall fall upon modern day Idumea. Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom, and represents modern day America. Babylon the Great shall become the lake of fire once those arrows are let loose. Once those arrows detonate, that shall cause a great earthquake and shall bring about the lake of fire. But when it comes to the Carmanians, the scripture of 2 Esdras 15 and 30 has said that the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. And you're getting a taste of that military power in its first stages. But they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The modern day Assyrian is Edom. And this is talking about America. And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So remember what the scriptures have said. And with great power shall they come. But with that being said, Kal Olam Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kudash, and double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Brakta, Shalom.